What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Dewey Beer Company, and they are out of Dewey Beach, Delaware, and this is their secret machine, the Baked Alaska variant. So they're calling this one a fruited sour that is conditioned on pistachio, chocolate, raspberry, and vanilla. Comes in at 7% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 4.5 months old. So the Secret Machine series from Dewey, I really enjoy it. I have had, I believe, 3 beers within this series, courtesy of a friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Alex. A couple years ago, I reviewed them on the channel, and I really enjoyed all 3 of them, and everything I've had from Dewey has been fun to try at the very least. So when we started getting distro of their beers here recently over the past couple months, I was blown away, surprised, happy. So I picked up one of their secret machines, and it's funny, as I'm reviewing this upcoming weekend, there's another drop of Dewey, a bunch of secret machines, some IPAs and whatnot. So I might be reviewing more Dewey over the next couple months, maybe go pick up a couple other beers from them. But I wanted to grab this one because it sounded interesting. You don't see a lot of beers with pistachio in it. Now, I looked up what a Baked Alaska is because I've never had the dessert. Basically, it's like an ice cream dessert with a browned meringue kind of on top. This kind of reminded me of a little bit of Spumoni, which I really enjoy. And one of the best Spumoni beers, or pistachio beers, I should say, I've ever had was Other Half, did an Imperial Stout. A Spumoni, I think it was Spumoni Dream or something like that. It was delicious. It was probably the only beer where pistachio came to the forefront and like punched me in the face. So I'm hoping that is the case here. It is the first ingredient listed. And on the side here, it does say it contains nuts, so real pistachio, not like, pistachio flavor or anything. Anyway, this has been in my fridge, kept upside down, 4.5 months old. I picked this one up in, I believe it was late March, maybe early, I think it was late March, early April. So I've been sitting on it for a couple months. Anyway, let's get a pour here. All right, so it doesn't look as thick as I thought. I thought the Secret Machine were, blended with the fruit puree and everything. That's fine, no issues. I kept this cold and inside my fridge upside down the entire time. So I'm hoping, it's all mixed together nicely. No, it's not super hazy. It doesn't have the crazy look as far as, like a fruited sour goes, but it looks all right. A little bit of, oh no, remember, I thought the glass was dirty. That's just particulates floating around. I don't know if you're going to see that, but a lot of particulates suspended in animation. So that has this really weird, like orange, that's like a really, really deep ruby red grapefruit in person. On camera, it's probably going to look like maybe like a light red, pinkish, kind of orange vibe. I don't know. That's a crazy color, but it does have puree because you can see the pectin, fruit puree at the top. So I stand corrected. But yeah, a lot of floating particulates. Had about a finger of this like off orange kind of head that has now dissipated to a thin film. But yeah, interesting look to it. And another thing is, I haven't had a ton of the heavily fruited sours with like chocolate and whatnot. So it's gonna be interesting. You have chocolate pistachio on top of raspberry and vanilla. It sounded really interesting, is why I picked it up. Let's get a nose. Okay, so the first thing I get, like a raspberry chocolate cake. That's crazy. Yeah, the chocolate and the raspberry dominating. Maybe a little bit of vanilla. Man, what the fuck? So again, I've never had a Baked Alaska, so I can't sit here and compare it to that dessert, which is, some people are like, why'd you pick that up then? I don't know, because it sounded delicious. But it has this dessert-esque, but like a cakey kind of vibe to it, like a chocolate raspberry vanilla cake. That's what I'm getting. There's a little bit of like a tartness in here. I'm trying to get that pistachio. I'm looking for it. I can't find it. Dude, that's wild. So what the flavors, my mind's trying to process what's going on here, because the flavors I'm smelling should be in like a big, rich Imperial Stout. Chocolate, raspberry, vanilla. Like if you're talking like an Imperial, like Black Forest cake, which I know is cherries instead of raspberries, but something like that, right? That's what my mind is saying should be happening here, but it's a 7% fruited sour. I'm not getting much more than those 3. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and try to pick out 83 flavors that don't exist. Chocolate, raspberry, vanilla, cake vibe. Can't find the pistachio. Smells a little bit tart, but not really sour. My brain has no idea what's going on. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Okay, so in the taste, the pistachio is on the finish. That's a really cool beer. Yeah, fun. Buying this higher side of medium, lower side of full. It has some thickness, but if you're looking for like a super thick smoothie slash slushy, fruited beer, this isn't like crazy overly thick, which I think makes it more refreshing. The mouthfeel definitely has a nice pop of carbonation, but it's smooth and creamy. Body mouthfeel are fine. The taste, though, is pretty much what I said in the nose, but add a little bit of pistachio on the end. So, right at the tip of the tongue, raspberry. Sweet and tart raspberries. Right after that, nice blast of chocolate. It's more like a fudgy chocolate, though. Or like, yeah, I would say more fudgy. Maybe like a chocolate frosting, kind of something like that. Then there's a little bit of a dollop of like a whipped cream or vanilla after that. Now, those sound rich and decadent and sweet. This beer is not overly sweet. It's sweet, but it's not crazy sweet. But all three of those hit me right at the front. Halfway through the palate, there's this really nice firm tartness that hits, and it kind of envelops the palate and my tongue. So as it finishes, it dries it out. This is a pretty dry beer. I wouldn't say full-on dry, but semi to full-on dry. There's no bitterness, but that dryness stops all that sweetness from the front of the palate from it being cloying and way too sweet. And on the end, the very back of the tongue, on the finish, there is this slight nutty pistachio thing. 7%, you really can't tell. Yeah, I'm going to drink the rest of this. I'm going to enjoy it. It's not blowing me away. It's not amazing. And I didn't expect it to be, but at the same time, I'm enjoying it. Again, if I would have had a baked Alaska before, I could sit here and probably tell you if it mimics it. It doesn't seem like it does. The lack of a big pistachio blast. The chocolate, raspberry, vanilla is coming off more cakey than anything else. But maybe that's how baked Alaska is. I'm not getting like straight ice cream vibes here. It's more cakey than like an ice cream dessert. But again, it has a really nice firm tartness. It's not overly sweet. It has a nice dryness on the back of the palate. So I like the balance here. It's just not blowing me away, having so many of these heavily fruited sours. It kind of doesn't land in the middle, but it's also not like, something that I'm going to give a super high score to. So Secret Machine from Baked Alaska, I have no problems giving this a high 4 out of 5 and go 4.1 out of 5. I think that is a very fair score for this beer. If you see this beer or you've had this beer before, let me know what you think about it. If you do see this beer, pick it up. Price point availability. Price point on this one, I think I paid like $5.50 a can. I think there were $22 4-packs in my area. And I believe at the brewery, they're $19 a 4-pack. So, that is quite a bit cheaper than here in the Buffalo, New York, West New York area where you got Mortalis and Froth and Fifth Frame. Most of their 4-packs are $25. Typically, at the very least, I think for some of Fifth Frames are $22, but mostly like $25 a 4-pack. So if this is $19 a 4-pack at the brewery, kudos to them for bringing down the price. I paid $22 a 4-pack, so just under what I typically pay for a Froth or Mortalis product. So really not disappointed from that aspect. And the availability, I have no idea with Dewey. Again, over the last couple years, since the start of the pandemic, but even more so in the like last year and a half, just there's so much distro going on. The distribution of some of these breweries is insane. I never would have thought I'd see Dewey just show up here in West New York just randomly. I just didn't think it would happen, yet here we are. So if you can get their stuff in your neck of the woods and you're not in Delaware, and you're not even close to anywhere in Delaware, let me know. Again, we have seen, I think, 3 different drops now from Dewey, and I ain't mad at it. Let's just say that. So anyway, I appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. Once again, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. If you've had any beer within the Secret Machine series, let me know, because this is the 4th one I've had. They've all been pretty damn good. This is probably my least favorite of the bunch. I can't remember what I gave everything else, but the other ones were like really, really delicious. This is really good, just not hitting me in the feels, so to speak. Anyway, going to review more from them. Till the next one. Cheers.